Hi, this is Jaya. Now we shall see the summary of Ode to the West Wind by P.B. Shelley. Come, let's go to the poem. In this poem, Shelley personifies the west wind as an uncontrollable power, and he says that its power is felt everywhere. He begins the song like this. He addresses the west wind. He says, "O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being." He says that when you are blowing, we can understand that autumn has come. So you are the breath of autumn. You tell everyone that autumn has come. Thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven like ghosts from an enchanter fleeing. And he's saying that when you are blowing, we are not able to see you, but definitely we are able to know your presence, because you will drive all the dead leaves and the leaves will be flying away, like how the ghost will fly when they see an enchanter. Like that, you can make us to feel your power. You will make us to feel your presence. And these leaves which are flying away will be yellow and black and pale and hectic red. So he says that you will blow away all the loose and the dead leaves. Pestilence stricken multitudes, O thou whose chariotest to their dark wintry bed, the winged seeds where they lie cold and low. And then what do? You carry all the winged seeds and you make them to lie down in their winter bed. That is, after autumn we'll have winter. So he says that you will take all the seeds and you will bury them in the ground, so that when winter comes, they'll be covered by the snow and they'll be lying down there cold and low, each like a corpse within its grave, until thine assure sister of the spring shall blow. And he says that all these seeds will be lying down like dead corpse without any movement, like how the corpse will be in the graveyard lying down without any movement. These seeds also will be there. And how long they will be there? They will be there till your sister, that is after autumn we'll have spring. So he says your sister spring, it comes. So these seeds will be there. And her clarion over the dreaming earth, and fill driving sweet buds like flocks to feed in air, with living hues and odors, plain and hill. And what will happen when spring comes? She will make this earth like a dream. It will be so beautiful, because as soon as spring comes, all these seeds will become a new plant and they will bear sweet buds. And what will happen is they will make the world so beautiful. Hues means color. So the world will become lively with the colors and odors, that fragrance all over the plain and hill. So everywhere, all over the world, just because you have preserved the seeds, these seeds will become plants during spring and they bloom into flowers and they will fill the world with colors and with beautiful fragrance. Wild spirit, which art moving everywhere, destroyer and preserver, here, oh here. So he says that you are a spirit which moves all over the world. And he calls the west wind destroyer and preserver, because he destroys all the dead leaves and drives them away, and he takes the seeds and he buries them in the ground. So he's a destroyer, but actually he is doing it only to preserve the seeds so that they will grow into new plants. So he is also a preserver. That is, he will destroy the old to bring the new ones. And then in the next stanza he says, thou on whose stream mid the steep sky's commotion. So now he's saying that you are so strong that you will even create a commotion in the sky. When you blow, even the sky will be disturbed. And what will happen when it gets disturbed? Loose clouds like earth's decaying leaves are shed. Like how in the earth, all the loose and dead leaves, they are all shed. In the same way, when you blow in the sky, the loose clouds also will start shedding. And how they will come is, shook from the tangled boughs of heaven and ocean. Just boughs means branches. Just like how these clouds all were clinging on to the heaven and ocean, they'll all be shaken and they'll have to shed. And how they'll come down is angels of rain and lightning. So they'll come down like rain and lightning. They are spread on the blue surface of thine airy surge, and wherever you are, They all will come and they will shower with rain and lightning on the blue surface wherever you are. And how it will be like? He says, like the bright hair uplifted from the head of some fierce Maenad. He says, this rain and this lightning will look like the bright hair which is uplifted from the head of fierce Maenad. Now, Maenad is a Greek mythological character, and it is a very wild and fierce, emotional women who took part in Dionysus. Dionysus is the Greek god of wine. She was a part of her events. And so he is saying, when the rain and the lightning is coming down, it will be as though this Maenad's hair was uplifted from the head, and even from the dim verge of the horizon to the zenith's height, the locks of the approaching storm. So he says, we can see you from the horizon, from everywhere, from the sky to the earth, to the zenith's height, we can see you. And how we'll see is like locks of an approaching storm. So when you blow, it is not just wind, it is storm. And then he says, thou dirge. Dirge is a funeral song. He says, thou dirge of the dying year. So you are the funeral song of the dying year, to which this closing night will be the dome of a vast sculpture, vaulted with all thy congregated might. And he's saying that you are the funeral song of the dying year, and he says that this closing night, this night which is going to end, will be like the dome of a big sculpture, and this will bring forth your power on the earth. How means of vapors from whose solid atmosphere black rain and fire and hail will burst. So he says, from your power the world will get black rain and fire and hail, and they will not come in a very ordinary way, they'll just burst in the earth. And he says, oh, here. So he is asking the west wind to listen to him, and he goes to the third stanza. He says, thou who didst waken from his summer dreams the blue Mediterranean. So he says the blue Mediterranean. So first he spoke about its power in the land, then he spoke about the west wind's power in the sky. Now he is talking about its power in the ocean. He is saying that Mediterranean was beautifully sleeping, but you woke it up from its summer's dream. All through the summer, Mediterranean Sea was asleep, very calm. But now when you come, it has to get up. Where he lay, lulled by the coils of his crystalline streams. Because all this time this Mediterranean Sea was lulled. Means lulled is when you are making a baby to sleep, you will sing a lullaby to make it sleep. So all this time the Mediterranean Sea was asleep, and all the streams which are flowing into it were crystalline, were very clear streams were entering into the Mediterranean Sea, and it was happily coiled around. It was so beautifully, peacefully sleeping. And where it was sleeping is beside a pumice isle in Bay's Bay. Pumice is from a volcano, you will have this lava. So this lava will form a rock, and this rock is called as a pumice stone. And this island, Bay's Bay, is actually in Italy, near Naples. So this island is made out of this pumice rock. And he says, beside this island, Mediterranean was asleep all this time. And in its sleep, what it saw is, it saw in sleep old palaces and towers, queering within the waves' intenser day, all overgrown with azure moss and flowers. So he's saying, in its sleep, it saw the old palaces and towers all broken because of an earthquake. And now all those palaces and towers are under the ocean. And because they are under the ocean for so many years, they have on top of them overgrown moss and flowers. All are grown on top of them. And so sweet and sense feigns picturing them. If you just go and try to picture them, because just like how the land is with plants, flowering plants and beautiful scenery, same way even under the ocean we do have plants. And he says that all these are covered with beautiful sceneries which are very sweet. And he says your sense will faint when you're trying to picture them. And thou, for whose paths the Atlantic's level powers cleave themselves into chasms. So he says, when you blow, even Atlantic, cleave means dividing. He says even Atlantic will divide itself and it will give weight to you because it cannot go against your power. while far below the sea blooms and the oozy woods which wear the sapless foliage of the ocean know thy voice. And he says, the uh, land which is below the Atlantic Ocean, which is filled with all the woods, means all the plants, they will know from your voice itself that you are approaching, and certainly grow grey with fear, and they'll all become grey. That is just like how in the land we have autumn, where the dead leaves will fall away and go. Same way, even the plants which are under the ocean will become dead and decay. And so that is saying as they will also grow grey with fear and tremble and despoil themselves. So he says even they will tremble and they will fall down just by hearing your voice itself. They are so scared of you. And then he says, oh, here, and he continues, if I were a dead leaf, thou mightest bear. So he says, I only hope that I was like the dead leaf which you will carry and go. Or if I were a swift cloud to fly with thee. Or I hope that I will be the fastest cloud so that I can also fly along with you. A wave to pant beneath thy power, or at least I could have been a wave in the ocean where I will pant. Pant is the deep breath you will take. Suppose in case you are running for a long distance, and when you stop you will start taking deep breaths. So he says, if I am a wave under your power, I can pant and share the impulse of thy strength, and in this way, like the leaf, the cloud, or the wave, I can share your power of your strength, only less free than thou. Of course I can be less free than you, oh uncontrollable, because you are one person who cannot be controlled by anything. If even I were as in my boyhood, he's saying, at least, okay, I need not be a leaf, I need not be a cloud, I need not be a wave, at least I was a boy. If I can just go back to my boyhood and could be the comrade of thy wanderings over heaven, and if I can just be your friend and wander everywhere, even over heaven, and then went to outstrip thy sky speed, scarce seemed a vision, and I can just join you and enjoy my outstrip in your speed, and I can have all the vision that you have had. I would never have striven as thus with thee in prayer in my sore need. He's saying, now I am in sore is a painful feeling, and he says, if I had been any one of this, even if I had been in my boyhood now, I would never have gone to the level of asking you all this like a prayer now. Oh, lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. He says, please come and just lift me like how you are lifting the wave, how you are lifting the cloud, how you are lifting the leaf. Because I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. Because in all these years, I have fallen on the thorns of life. This life has become like a thorn in my life, and I am bleeding. A heavy weight of hearts has changed and bowed. He says, I've grown, and so many hearts have gone into this, and my life has just changed me, and it has made me to bow down. So please lift me. Oh, one, two, like thee. And how you have to lift me is, you have to lift me so that I will become one person like you, tameless and swift and proud. I also want to be tameless. I don't want to be tamed by anyone. And I want to be fast. I want to be swift like you. I want to be proud like you. And then he goes to the final stanza and he says, make me thy lyre. Lyre is a musical stringed instrument. He says, make me your instrument, your musical instrument, even as the forest is, because you've already made the forest as your lyre. The same way, you make me also as your lyre. What if my leaves are falling like its own? Okay, I agree. In the forest, when you blow, all the leaves will fall down. Same way, when you're going to make me as your musical instrument, my leaves also will fall down. But it is okay. What is it? What is going to happen if my leaves are going to fall down? The tumult of thy mighty harmonies, because they'll come out as your harmonies, as your music, and will take from both a deep autonomal tone, sweet though in sadness, and they will give out that autumn tone. You are the tone of autumn. First he said you are the breath of autumn, and now he's saying you are the tone of autumn, and they'll be sweet. Of course, they'll be sad, but even if they're sad, they'll be sweet. And then he says, be thou, spirit, fierce, my spirit. And he's saying, you be you. You are a spirit. You are a fierce spirit. and that fear spirit is my spirit. Be thou me, impetuous one. So you be me. That is, I cannot become like you. So you become like me. And what you have to do is drive my dead thoughts over the universe like withered leaves to quicken a new birth. Just like how you are taking the dry leaves and spreading them throughout the world, take my dead thoughts, take all my past thoughts, whatever I have in me, you take all the thoughts and take them all over the universe. And just like how the seeds are buried and preserved to come out as new plants, my thoughts will give this whole universe a new birth. New thoughts will come out from that. And by the incantation of this verse, scatter as from an extinguished hearth ashes and spanks my words among mankind. And now you go and tell like an incantation. Incantation are these powerful magical words. He says, you take my words and you go and spread it everywhere like ashes and sparks. And I want each and every mankind to hear my words from you. Be through my lips to unawaken earth, and you have to be my lips, and you have to go and wake up the earth. And he says, the trumpet of a prophecy, O wind, and you be the trumpet of my prophecy. And what are his words is, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? So he says, after winter it is going to be spring. So when winter comes, that is when suffering comes, can spring be far behind? How long can the winter be? Definitely the winter will go and spring will come. So life is always there for the betterment. So we can always hope for something good to happen even if we are going to suffer. So good time will come. That is his message to the world, and he ends the poem here. I hope you've understood the poem. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. And while subscribing, please don't forget to press the bell button. Only then you will get the notification of all the videos which I am posting. Thank you.